Okay, I feel like I really need to address this because it's getting out of hands as to how much hate these data is getting. First, the data is a reflection of our society. This is collected on all of essentially people's behavior. And for those who says, oh, it's not the entire population, yes, it is not. And none of the statistics is based on the entire population. That is a very expensive study to create. So these are all representative samples. The data from the dating apps, you can think of it as in like a portion of the population being digitized and now looking at it. It's a large enough sample that can represent the population. Yes, there are different nuances, but that's just what the data shows. I want to say this piece here from a famous psychologist. Minimizing the magnitude of important sex differences and discounting their biological origins can be just as damaging for science and society at large as exaggerating them and accepting simplistic biological explanation of sex differences at face value. An honest, sophisticated public debate on sex differences demands a broad perspective with an appreciation for nuance and full engagement with all sides of the question. The psychologist here shows the data on sexual differences and can be misconstrued as sexism. And the data I've shared are about also dating preferences between men and women and by race as well. So the same applies here. I'm not trying to essentially make it damaging in some way. Actually, ignoring these data and not talking about it as a society has a more implicit impact that are negative for the minority groups that are in hurt here. If we bring these to the table, we can get more representation of opposite of the stereotypes on social media, which essentially gives a fair, a new way of looking at these stereotypes. We are already now seeing more Asian men as the hot jocks on Netflix series. We see Black women in How to Get Away with Murder, which is one of my favorite show. And by essentially showing that these data and how it changes over time, we can address these problems and make it more equal. But silencing me, sharing these data to you all is not going to help, because I know for sure you guys are not going to go and look at these statistics and learn yourself and educate yourself. I'm sorry that you find these data offensive to you. I'm not trying to personally attack you here, but I understand that the data is not flattering for some groups. What we can do about the data as a society is to be aware about it, to be understanding of others. We can give equitable results for everyone, not just equality.